Alrighty, folks. Well, it is my pleasure to introduce La Rana Canta, aka The Frog Sings. It's designed by Mark Whitman of Whitman Architectural Design and is located in Ojai, California. Mark graduated from Arizona State University in 1981 with a Bachelor of Architecture and began his private practice in 1986 in Santa Barbara, actually just 2 doors down from where I'm sitting right now. He's been practicing in Ojai ever since 1990. Mark's been happily married for 35 years and has 2 children, Jade and Nathan, married to Julia Taft Whitman. Where you can see further architectural designs by Mark is the Blue and Emerald Iguanas, owned by Mark and Julia. This home's journey started in the 1930s as a small wood cabin and began its transition into a single-family home in 1998. Situated next to the beautiful Taft Botanical Gardens, this home truly exemplifies the harmonious balance with nature. It's my pleasure to introduce Mark Whitman and the Rana Canta.
Hello, greetings. I'm Mark Whitman, and I'm architect in Ojai. I'm here with my daughter Jade. She's here helping me push the right buttons, making sure this goes well, make sure I don't blow up the world or something. But I'm here to talk about La Rana Canta, our home I built with my wife Julia, and I was the architect, but Julia has a great decorative sense. She decorated and did a lot of most of the interiors of the design in the home. We raised our two children, Jade, who's with me here today, and Nathan, and they are now 30 and 34 years old. So that was a while ago. But the property is located at the base of the Santa Ynez mountain range. We got Santa Barbara right around the corner from us. And it's surrounded by Los Padres National Forest. And we're right on the bank of the Santa Ana Creek that flows into Lake Casitas. If you can locate, figure out where that is. The Thomas Fire actually went right through our property. It came within about 200 yards of our home. And so that was exciting. We are stewards of a 40-acre parcel, which is part of a family compound that we share with John and Melody Taft, Julia's father. And the property is also adjacent to a 501c3 nature preserve, which is dedicated to nature and nature education, and it's a preservation of nature. Our daughter Jade, who's here, she's the president of the organization, of this organization, and Julia's sister Jenny and Jenny Nicklin and her husband Lawrence and their daughter Alexandra. They're also very integral parts of the 501c3. And my father-in-law John and Melody, they set up the nonprofit and put the property in preserve. But our home started off. We inherited the home. It was a fishing lodge that was built in the 30s, and so it was just a little one-room cabin. We have a picture of that cabin that we started with, and this is what it began as. It was really rustic, no electricity. Had a wood burning hot water heater, and it was just kind of a mountain cabin. And so we turned it into a home. We presume it was originally built as a fishing lodge, because there's stories that we heard. Michael Haskell of Santa Barbara told me that he remembers his grandmother or mother talking about riding up on horseback and spearing the steelhead as they came up to Santa Ana Creek. So after we were gifted this home, I developed a master plan, a dream house for the home, but of course we were just married, and I was just starting my architecture career, and we couldn't afford the master plan, so we built the house in phases. So we built like a half a house. We built 3 bedrooms on the second story with a bathroom, but the stairway was on the second phase, and so we had a temporary exterior stairway to get upstairs, and had to go through Jade's bedroom and through closets, up ladders into the 3rd floor. It was really a funky situation. There's the cabin. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, good. So there's the old cabin that we inherited. That's what we started with, and then so I did a pen and ink rendering and gave it to as a gift to Julia, and to show this is the vision of the final plan. And if we can go to that slide, to the rendering. And with the rendering, it hung on the wall of the house. We lived in that half a house for like 15 years while we were trying to figure out how to do the second phase of the house. And so it hung on the wall of our funky house, and it was sort of a way to manifest the vision. And so, during the time of before we built the second phase, which was in about 2001, before we built the second phase, we were thinking about how to financially make this happen. We developed the blue and emerald iguana inns, and Julia, is running those, and she's really an amazing business person, and we were able to financially afford to do the second phase. But in the first phase, we established kind of the style of the house. We introduced sort of a Art Nouveau style into the house, with the windows and the cabinetry, and the Art Nouveau and also the Craftsman movement, which the house kind of lent itself to a Craftsman flair. We kind of mixed those together, and I think they mixed together very naturally because they're both at this kind of the same period of time, and so we call it Craftsman Nouveau, and the architecture was also influenced by one of my favorite architects, Bernard Maybeck, up in Northern California. And he liked to kind of mishmash the styles. He would often do Gothic along with Craftsman. And so there's a lot of Maybeck influences. The cabinet leaf motif, it's kind of a direct influence from Maybeck. And so, but in between the phases, I was my worst client. I kept redesigning it and coming up with, oh, what if we could do this? What if we could do that? And I was driving myself crazy. And then Julia kept on saying, no, go back to the rendering. We're doing that house. And so that's, that's the rendering kind of helped me out too, kind of bring me back to the original vision. And so we started construction in 2001 of the second phase. And during that phase, I introduced the influences of actually my favorite architect, Gaudi of Barcelona, Spain. And so he was like, just I can't say enough words about how genius he was in bringing nature shapes and forms, and also nature engineering, and doing like making a creative, artistic, masterpieces that he did all over Barcelona. And so we brought in these organic shapes and forms, and you can see the construction here was built with plywood ribs, blocking, and then we laughed and plastered over them. We did plastering on the outside, and we did interior plastering on the inside, and then Gaudi was he's also part of the Art Nouveau movement, and so I felt like it was all kind of tied together naturally, all the different styles that we were putting into the house. There's some more construction photos. You can go to the next slide. You can see, yeah, we lived in the construction because we were living in the other half of the house while we were building this. For the 2.5 years we were building, we did a lot of entertaining in the construction, because we kind of liked the way this looked. It was kind of, we thought it was really exciting, living in the bones of the construction, and so we spent our time building and getting the right people to build it, or the right subcontractors, people who were willing to, who were really good craftsmen, but also willing to work within our budget restraints. And the house, it's surrounded by the amazing grove of oak trees, and it has a creek on one side and then the creek bank on the other side. And so we had to build 2 wings out on both sides of a big, beautiful oak tree that was right in the path of where we were going to expand out to. And so we painstakingly, built around this big, beautiful tree, and we dug by hand, the foundations by hand, and bridged the root system with. But the tree, it was a success. The tree is very happy and healthy. It's growing like crazy. almost too much. We're having to pin it back and do some things to protect the house. But it shows that, you know, where you can, you know, work with nature and you don't have to, you know, sacrifice, you know, too much. I think it adds a lot. And so in our, yeah, there we go. That's the tree right in the middle of the house there. So you can see the two wings coming out on both sides of the tree. And the tree is right in the middle of the house. And later on, I'll talk about the passive solar aspects of that. But we do a lot of creative entertaining in our space here. It's a great space, and we believe in sharing it with our friends and family, and doing a celebration of life, you know, in our space. And so we have a lot of, you know, really good times here. And the cabin came with a natural, you know, there's the outdoor room with the plastering. The cabin came with a natural pool and pond that we refurbished, and the water is supplied, you know, by nature. It's creek fed or spring fed, and we get a lot of wildlife that comes through. You know, there's I just saw a ringtail cat the other day. I don't know if people know what that is, but it's very rare. But there's egrets and herons and lots of animals, but mostly frogs. We have this amazing plethora of frogs in the spring, and they're really loud, and so we named the house, you know, La Rana Canta, the frog sings, because of that. And so that was the end of that part. I was going to go to the 3D scan next. And
yeah, I'm really excited for this portion. We have Jose Martinez did the 3D scans for all of our projects with high definition camera folks. So definitely remember to go check them out on our website after the fact and really get up close and personal to some intricate details and see them a lot closer at hand.
Okay, let's make sure this is working.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. It's working. I'm so happy. That was my biggest worry. But I'm going to go through the house real quick. It does an automatic movie through the whole entire house. And so everyone can get an idea of the general. It's only going to take a couple minutes, but this is our powder bathroom. This is our most complete our most recent project that we did. Remodeled that. This is our family room den space where we spend most of our evenings. There's more of the family room den, and our stairway. This is our master bedroom suite. That's more of our master bedroom. My bed. I love that bed. It's so comfortable. Our balcony outside our master bedroom. This is actually part of the old original cabin that we put the toilet room into. And this is the hallway that leads to the bedrooms. That's Jade's old bedroom when she was growing up. And that's her bathroom. And then this is my art studio that I paint in. And then we go up to the third floor. We call it the treehouse room, little guest bedroom that we put up in the third floor. And guests love it. It's like being in the tree when you're up there. This is actually our newest project. We just finished this as a new game room that we built outside the pool area, right in the backyard. And we spend a lot of time out here. We really love this space, and really added a lot to our lives. So there's our little pool bath area, and yeah, there's a mosaic. I just finished that mosaic. It's a bunch of leftover tile from projects. Like a weekend project for me. There's our backyard. It's where we do our entertaining and whatnot. And so yeah, that was a little quick view, but you can spin around and see some other aspect, you know, the rest of the backyard space with the pool.
Yeah, I'd love for you to keep doing the 360 and then maybe bring us back into the cantina real quick. Love to
Sure. Yeah, a lot to talk about in there. Like I said, we just finished this structure. We started before COVID, the construction, and then we're getting finished actually when COVID hit, and the ceiling. It was kind of a project. Oh, I'd love to do like a painted ceiling, but I don't know if I have the time. I'm so busy, and maybe maybe we could just do it down the road someday. But then COVID hit, and the governor said, you need to stay home. And so I go, oh, this is the perfect opportunity so we painted these panels. It wasn't like Michelangelo. I wasn't up there painting them. It was they're MDF panels that were on the ground, and we painted them all by hand individually. We had little painting parties. I had a lot of little helpers coming in and helping me out with it. But we did a lot of symbolism up in this. I don't know if you could see it, but we put a lot of there was a lot of Celtic symbolism about there's a wheel of fortune, and then there's one about family love and one about eternal love, and also there's initials. Let me go to that one if I can. Yeah, you can barely see it. It's M and J, with a Celtic cross in between. And here's the it's the whatever we call it, the family love, I think is what I interpret that. There's a lot of different interpretations. You can see some of my paintings. I love to paint in my spare time. I do a lot of plein air painting. The painting was from Idaho, and then there's one from Carmel, and love to travel and paint, and that's what we kind of one of our favorite things to do. These doors, they're bifold opening doors, which really create a great indoor-outdoor flow to the outside. So when we're entertaining it, it's kind of a seamless transition. We set the floor up to be a wood floor someday. So we're tango dancers, and so we want to make this into a tango dancing room as well eventually. You can see that's our outdoor barbecue bar area. So when we're having parties, we serve from there. And then this is our outdoor living room that we spend a lot of time outside whenever we can, and whenever we have friends over, we're outside. So as you're coming into the house, you can see the stairs in the living room. The formal living room is here. So this is our fancy room. But this room here people love to spend time in this space and hang out, and nature surrounding them, and these shapes, which Gaudi did a lot of these sort of Moorish shapes in his architecture. But I also feel like it's like tree branches intermingling, and so that was sort of the abstract. And can you see some more of my paintings? That one's not mine. That's go ahead, Cash.
Oh, going back to that little sitting area, you do the build as well as the design, right?
Yeah, I was the builder. I was supervising the framer. This room drove the framer crazy.
I was going to ask how'd that actually get built?
Oh my God, he spent we spent like 2-3 days just figuring out how to do it, and he was just banging his head, and we were both like, oh, let's do it this way, let's do it that way. And so it was really complicated, intersecting curves. It's like a dome that intersects these Moorish shapes, and so and then when we plastered it over, it really it smoothed everything out, and it doesn't look complicated now, but it was. And so
we had a question about some of the tile work.
Oh yeah.
Someone asked if they are RTK.
Yeah. So RTK is all on the second floor. When we get up there, we'll talk about that. I think NS Ceramics in Santa Barbara, they supplied a lot of our tile. That living room tile was a Tabi, I think, is there out of New York or Chicago. And I'd like to talk about this light fixture for a second. Oh, this is a really good friend of ours. He's passed away but she did a lot of our metal artwork. This is
Oh, wow.
and she's also a neon artist, and so it has neon lights behind like a mica lens, with this design that was cut out of metal with a laser cutter thing, and or those, I can't remember the name of it. This tile, there was an artist a tile artist in San Diego, Laird Plumley, and he does this amazing early California tile work. And he does the mural as well. It's a cast and glazed mural. And in the bar, if you want to go in the bar.
Yeah, it's almost noon.
This is happy hour somewhere, but there's some more of his murals in the bar here. And then, yeah, there's one. So that's a beautiful mural by Laird.
Oh yeah, you don't see enough murals put into tiles.
Yeah, here's some of my paintings again. These are, I think, one of my favorite ones. I used to do a lot of figures and portraits. I've gone on to landscaping. I think about going back to it. There is a photo on the other wall opposite. Jade's driving this while I'm talking, which helps me out here. But there's a photograph here of Julia's grandfather, Percy Gray. He's in the top above Dr. Samsung at the Samsung Clinic, and he was a doctor who helped develop the insulin. And this was a present given to him by one of his patients, who was kind of a famous artist, so the contemporary of Frida Kahlo, that was gifted to Percy Gray. I don't think you can go outside here. I think you have to go to the upstairs maybe, and up there. How's our time doing?
We're just out of time, so.
Oh, geez. We're almost out of time on our schedule. But let me talk about the RTK tile upstairs. There's Jade's bathroom. That was all RTK. And then, yeah, there we go. That's all.
Yeah, I think we have about 5 more minutes till the next video starts. So you got some
Okay,
time.
good. Yeah, here we go. And then, yeah, our friend Dominique Dean Bro, he's a great artist and musician, and he did a lot of the painting downstairs in the den, and in the ceiling here he did our faux painting, and there's some decorative painting outside of the house too that he did. And here's RTK tile going up the spiral stair. There you go. Jim Roberts he supplied the doors and windows for the house, which really kind of was amazing find. He found a woodworker, a shop to build all the doors and windows by custom, and so they're all solid wood custom doors and windows. And here on the fireplace here is RTK tile again, and so they're good friends of ours, and they're really master tile makers. This is oh, we jump back to that. This is NS Ceramics supplied us this tile. This tile maker is from the Seattle area, and I don't know who it is. But Nola there at NS, she found this tile for us. And Julia designed this bathroom. It's just amazing, I think, interior designing that she put together. All of this really, the tile and the whole composition is really hers. Yeah, go back to the bedroom, and then.
Yeah, wow, what a master bedroom.
And yeah, go up to the balcony. My guy just squirted off this balcony, so it's not that dirty usually. But it does need maybe a power scrubbing there. Yeah, we got the amazing. We're so blessed to be in this location. I can't believe sometimes that we live here. That is just an amazing spot in nature. So, maybe there's one of the other shout outs was our other sponsor is Pablo from Alpha Stone. He did the stonework, and he just finished that game room. He did most of the concrete work too in that game room. He was around a long time for us, and he has an amazing crew of just great stone craftsmen that they're just amazing workers. I can't believe how hard they work. We're back to my art studio here. I spend my weekends painting. This is what I kind of really passionate about. I love doing this in my spare time. And so here's one that I'm working on right now. It's a Sierra mountain scene there. And here's where our rendering still is in the hallway here. It's still hanging, even though we finished the vision.
Oh, I love it. It's so meta.
Yeah, right. Jade's driving here. She's taking us upstairs again to the tree house. Here's some more painting by Dominique Dean Bro. He did like this relief, a real subtle relief of a tree up in there. And then there's another tile mural in the bathroom here that I did. Oh wait, I'm not gonna talk about that in the next portion. This is a little tree mosaic that I did, back in 2000. But and then there's our tree again. So the tree is kind of a theme, the frog and the tree. a lot of that in the house. Julia put this tile on the floor and Jay and my teenage son, he lived, you can't see it now, but he was living in the upstairs bedroom at the time, and all his friends thought it was a marijuana leaf, but it was supposed to be a sycamore leaf. But his friends all thought, oh, for sure it was marijuana. But again, here's the treehouse room, and we got some. You can't see the cable. We're trying to keep it from. We keep trimming it back, and we're trying to live with the tree here. It's not easy, but it gives so much. So it's a give and take kind of a relationship we have here with the tree.
Yeah, well, I think oak tree canopies put out the equivalent to thousands of BTUs of cooling power. So
right, yeah, that's
really,
my next portion here. Are we ready to go to that?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have a little passive and active solar.
Yeah, talk about that. So yeah, let's go to that. Thank you, everybody. Maybe we'll be back for questions.
Yeah, we'll hop on in a few for questions.
Okay, great.
Hi, I'm here to talk about our passive and active solar aspects of the home. And I'm here next to our large oak tree, which the house was built around. The home had nowhere else to go. We had creeks and cliffs and other trees on each side, and so this was the most logical place to go, is out to the west side of the home. And the tree is beautiful, a large oak tree. It was probably 200 or 300 years old, and we love the tree, and we wanted to protect it. But it serves as a great solar protection of the home. It creates a giant umbrella over most of the house, and gives us shade all year round, which in Ojai, the cooling aspect of energy design is the most important part of designing here. And on the south side of the house, we have this grove of sycamore trees that are deciduous, and so they shade in the summer, and in the winter they lose their leaves, and we get the solar gain coming through the branches and heating the house when we need it. And so it's a great passive solar design aspect. We didn't do it, nature did it for us, and we're just blessed to be able to have all this great abundance of large mature trees on our property. Another aspect of our passive solar design is this our large outdoor living room. It faces directly west, where the hot afternoon sun comes in, and it creates protection to the glass of the house, which are large Gaudi style Art Nouveau doors. There's a lot of glass here, but they never see direct sunlight, And so the roof line projects out, so far that it completely protects these doors from any sunlight. Another thing I like to point out is the daylighting aspect of the home. Almost every room in the house has ample windows and brings in natural light throughout the day, or you don't really need to turn on any lights except maybe the bathrooms and in the kitchen at times. But this space, is so well lit, and it's surrounded by nature that you just feel. It just feels really good, it's kind of like being outdoors, but being indoors. And something else is the thermal mass of the house. The entire first floor of the home, the original house and the new addition is built with concrete block and then stone veneer over it. And so the stone veneer is about 12 inches thick, and some places more. And along with the stone block, we get about 20 inches of thermal mass thickness in the walls, and this absorbs the coolness at night, and then also in the wintertime it absorbs the heat during the day, and of your heating system it goes into the walls and stays there, and so you don't have to use your mechanical systems as much, and it saves a lot of energy in that respect. We are now back in the main residence, and we're up on the 3rd level. We've installed a whole house fan that we use in the summertime to cool the house down. So in the evening, when the temperature becomes cool on the outside, we open up windows and turn on this fan, and it really is a powerful fan that sucks in the cool air from the outside, cools the house down, cools down all that thermal mass, and it creates a comfortable temperature. Then we close the house back up in the morning. It holds the coolness for the rest of the day, and again, except in extreme conditions where you don't have to use air conditioning. Now my art studio, where we have this clerestory window unit, and the main reason I installed this in this space was to bring the natural light into my art studio. Now this is facing west, which is terrible solar exposure. The trees help out quite a bit with the sun coming in, but it does warm up, and we do have to use air conditioning when I'm in here working during hot days. But it was a trade-off between having the natural light and being able to work in a well-lit studio as to the energy conservation. And that's what I tell my clients all the time. It's a value decision on their part of how far to go, with the green aspects of your house. But we all need to do our part. We all need to go as far as we can, as far as financially are able to, because the global warming thing and the environment and the earth, and it needs help, and we all need to do our part. We're trying to do ours. I'm now out in front of our newly completed game room, where we incorporated numerous passive and active solar design concepts into this project. And one of the main parts, or the biggest attribute to this being a passive solar home, is the fact that we built it subterranean, or partially dug into the hillside, with about a 8-foot retaining wall on the back side that's underground. And that insulation and the earth thermal mass keeps the structure very moderately temperature all year round. It stays cool in the summer and warm in the winter. You rarely have to turn on the mechanical system, only in extreme cases. But some more aspects is we have these large bifold opening doors, as you can see me walking through. Doing my best. And this gives a great indoor-outdoor, California feel to the home, and also brings in breezes. When we have our ocean breezes comes in during the day, but we supplement the air circulation, with some mechanical fans, as you can see. The building is, has extremely good daylighting, where we have windows on all 5 sides, all 4 walls, and then also we have some operable skylights. So we open those skylights. They're mechanically operated, and the air, flows in through the doors and up through those skylights, and we get a great, comfortable airflow in the structure. Something that we try to do is build with sustainably harvested timber whenever we can. It greatly reduces the embodied carbon of the structure. The embodied carbon is the carbon that's created, during construction, during the harvesting of the timber or manufacturing of products, up until constructing of the building. There's about 12 to 15% of the worldwide carbon is created during construction. Sustainably harvested wood is actually a carbon sink, so it takes away carbon, takes carbon out of the atmosphere, and stores it in the wood, and then comes into our building before it deteriorates in the forest, and actually has a positive impact on carbon. A negative impact of carbon, which we didn't know, but concrete. Concrete is a huge carbon impact on our environment. In the creation of making of the cement, and we're trying to figure out ways to reduce the carbon by adding add mixtures and things into the concrete. But there's really unavoidable impacts of concrete, and so what we're advocating is offsetting that with other aspects, like sustainably harvested wood, or you can buy carbon credits, or other things that can give you, carbon positive, back towards the project, and so you can get it. We're hoping, someday to be carbon neutral in our construction. I'm now at a hilltop above our house, well above the tree canopy. It's on a hillside that faces directly south. It gets a lot of sun exposure all day long. It's a kind of a perfect place to put solar panels. And so here we have installed over 25 kilowatts of solar power to power our home, and we have other aspects of the property, a guest house, and my son's nursery, Pan's nursery, where he grows plants. That takes a lot of power, and so I think we woefully oversized the system, but that was, with the goal of having no energy, zero energy on our property, and also offsetting the other uses that we have, that we're not able to, offset as far as our energy and our impacts to the environment. I also like to give a shout out to Cash Upton of Brighton Solar Energy, who just finished installing these solar panels for us, and we're really happy, with his team and in the job they did, and their cost was very competitive, and we're very happy with them. Thank you. Hi, I'm here in our mechanical room, of all places. It's where our hot water heater is situated, and we just now traded out our gas water heater for a new heat pump water heater. The heat pump is part of a movement of trading out our gas appliances to go all electric. In order for us to be carbon neutral or zero carbon in the future, we've all got to start converting our gas appliances in our homes to electric, along with the grid going green. Then our operational costs, our operational carbon can be zero in the future. So here's our heat pump water heater, and it's brand new. We just put it in. We had to have an electrician come in and wire for it, and it cost about $500. And the unit itself, it's one of the bigger ones. It cost about $1,500. But this is our annual, electrical cost on it. Of course, with solar, it'll totally get offset. But over time, it'll be a huge savings, for everybody. This is our underfloor hydroponic, heats our floors through heated water. And then we also have a backup generator for when Edison turns our power off. We'll be ready. I talked earlier about the Art Nouveau aspects of our project, and the Art Nouveau movement, was a revolution of its time. It was a reaction, against the Industrial Revolution, but also against the Victorian era architecture at the time of, that cluttered look. It created a simple, clutter-free, organic line, and it was very new. That's the words, Art Nouveau. But something, that they were revolutionaries. And I think in order for us to conquer this climate catastrophe that we're now experiencing, we have got to be revolutionary as well. We've all got to make major steps in order to become a carbon neutral society, and then a world. Of course, it's a huge undertaking, and but we got to start. We got to be the leaders. California's always been on top of the world in what we do, and as far as environmental attributes that we introduced, and so we need to lead the way, and everyone needs to do what they can. We built this house, because it's our temple to nature, and it's our expression. It's what resonates with us personally, and we feel deeply about nature and the wonder and the magic of this natural world that we live in. But everyone needs to find what resonates with them personally, themselves. I would advocate that everyone looks deep into themselves and finds that what is it that moves you? What is it that energizes you? What makes your spirit come alive? And you should create your space around that, because your space is it's a place where you're at almost most of your life, and it affects you. I think Winston Churchill, there's a quote that I use quite a bit, is he said, we shape our buildings and thereafter they shape us. And I think that's so true. I think how you create your spaces and how, as a society, how we create our cities and the environment around us affects us as a society. And if we do it in a positive way and something that uplifts us, creates imagination and creativity and wonder and awe, it'll make a better place for us to live, a better society, all of us will become better for it. Thank you.
Ah, I love it. Mark, I really couldn't have said it better myself. The intention of design, right? And Churchill knew too, our buildings shape us.
Right. Yeah.
I forgot to mention to our attendees, just as a bit of extra info, Mark joined the board of the Central Coast Green Building Council earlier this year, and really has been invaluable to bringing his decades of experience on sustainable design to our board. So we're really grateful for him. Definitely come get involved with the Green Building Council board. We have regional meetups where we just sit over and have a drink and talk about sustainability initiatives in our community. Nothing too much more than that. Just want to start communication and start dialogue. So really glad to have Mark present on that. We have about 5 to 8 minutes for questions. So Mark, there's one that I wanted to revisit about just the incredible craftsmanship of the home. And one of our attendees asked who the framer was.
Oh, well, we had several framers. The last project was Wilson. Kenny Wilson is his name in Ojai, and Scott Bodford did the finish work on that game room. He did an amazing job. Gary Bula, he did a lot of the original woodwork, and he kind of set the tone for the whole project. There's a Quano Ridenour. He did the window that you're seeing behind me right now, and the fireplace downstairs. So we had a plethora of amazing craftsmen who were part of the project over the years, and they did some really amazing things, and they worked with our budgets, and so we're really fortunate.
Love it. Someone did ask approximate square footage and approximate cost per square foot. I don't know if that's maybe a little hard to calculate over the years, but it'd be interesting.
Well, yeah. So I think right now we're about 4,000 square feet of living area. Of course, we don't need that with all, our kids are gone, but we have these empty rooms that, but our guests like those empty bedrooms when they come and visit. But the cost, it was I'm kind of embarrassed to say, because on that last addition, it was only like $500,000 for, I would say, about 2,000 of living and plus the outdoor rooms, and so it was only about 200 or so per square foot to build that. But it was, like I said, we waited for the right people who we could, fit within our budget, and we got some really great results. We built it ourselves too, so it saved a little bit, and time. We took our time. So I think that's, they say it's cost. There's money. There's time. There's quality. So we got the quality, and we got the cost. But time, you have to take your time.
Well, I imagine doing the design and the build, you can really implement some of these more intricate design processes that would normally be hard to translate to a GC.
Yeah. Well, I work with a lot of great GCs, and they have great ideas and bring a lot to the projects. But when you're building it yourself, and we're also living in the house, and so we are constantly coming up with refinements during the whole process.
And then we had one other question. I think the video cut out just for a second when you're up at the solar array. Someone asked about the solar energy, and I believe Brighton Solar installed that.
Yeah, who cut you out there? I had a nice little plug for Cash. Yeah, Cash, he brought in that solar system, and I just want to say they did a great job, and the cost was competitive, and we have an amazing solar system now.
Yeah, I'm super grateful that you took a big stab out of that consumption. Definitely doing your part to cut the carbon emissions. So we love that.
Yeah.
We got another 2 or 3 minutes here, folks. Are there any other thoughts or questions? We got a bunch of comments coming in and just the incredible craftsmanship of the home, Mark. Any other thoughts, folks, before we take a break for lunch?
Well,
Great.
thanks so much for having me. It was a great honor, and I'm humbled that you guys invited me to be part of this. And thank you to everyone involved with it. It was a great experience. I'm glad we didn't have too many technical difficulties. I was really stressing about that, and so I'm glad it all went nicely. And thanks for having me. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Jose's help doing the 3D scans. That was a really nice way to take that virtual tour of the home, and really grateful to have you on board, Mark. And thanks for joining AIA Santa Barbara for this tour.
I hope to get more involved with the Santa Barbara group. We're right over we're stone's throw away. Not really, but we're almost there. Really close.
Trebuchet throw away.
Santa Barbara needs to adopt Ojai and
annex.
All right,
folks. Well, we're going to take a break for 45 minutes, and we'll recommence here at 1 p.m. And at 1 p.m. we will be showcasing Thatcher School, their dining pavilion, and the Gates building. So definitely not to be missed. Do come and join us at 1 o'clock and enjoy your lunch.